One of my most interesting experiences here at MIT has been through my aerospace engineering coursework. Right behind me, you can see most of a plane. I've spent the past year as a part of a team that's been designing and building this plane called the Jungle Hawk Owl so that it can fly in the air for up to 6 days without any refueling. If we can manage to hit this 6-day mark, we'll break the current world record for longest duration flight. This plane will be used by disaster relief operations to help with communications. Basically what happens when you have a big hurricane or maybe an earthquake like the ones in Haiti is it knocks out a lot of the communication relays in the area. So what we're doing with this plane is we're going to stick the payload consisting of some advanced communications equipment and right in the front, and it's going to fly above the disaster zone so that rescue operations can use it to communicate easier with each other. Hopefully it'll help save lives. In high school, I worked at a local basketball camp every summer. The campers would be between the ages of 8 and 14, so end of elementary school through middle school. The camp was run by my high school coach. He would always employ the varsity basketball athletes to lead the campers over the summer. Basically, we would run the campers through drills that we might do in a high school practice. And we would also be assigned a team of about 12 kids in different age groups. We'd have to lead these kids through all these drills, teach them the fundamentals, and then coach them in a camp-wide league. I also refereed the local 4th and 5th grade recreational basketball league. As part of my responsibilities for this, I would, of course, officiate the games, but more importantly, these kids were pretty young, so a lot of them didn't really know the rules of basketball or how to play. So part of my duties would be, if I called a foul or called a travel, I'd explain to the kids what they did wrong so that they could learn from their mistakes. I do consider myself to be a leader. Throughout my life, I found myself in positions of leadership, whether it be as captains on my soccer or basketball teams, or more recently as the president of my fraternity at MIT. These experiences make me believe that I could effectively lead a group of teens like the ones at the summer camp. For me, a big part of leadership is getting to know the people that will be following me. If you know where they come from and what their motivations are, what their goals are, I think it's pretty easy to inspire them. One thing that the students need to know about coming to high-intensity academic schools like MIT, Harvard, or Boston College is that at these schools, everyone around them is smart and talented and brilliant. I know a lot of people who have struggled transitioning from being the smartest person in any room in their high school to being one of many here at MIT. As a result of everyone around you being smart, what's really important at these places is your work ethic and how much time and energy you can put into doing the things that you love, your coursework, your friends, any clubs you might be in or sports you might play. Another key thing about these schools is being involved in a wide variety of activities. You don't just want to spend all your time doing your coursework, doing problem sets and homework in your room. There's a lot to do at these places and a lot of cool people to meet if you get out and be active and maybe try things you wouldn't normally do. One thing that really makes MIT great and stand out above these other schools is our focus on collaboration. MIT has a lot of policies set in place to make sure that students are working together. For example, we aren't allowed to have any curves on tests. That way we're not competing against each other, we're just trying to do the best that we can. Additionally, a lot of professors like to encourage their students to work together on problem sets. In this way, you tend to meet a lot of different students that you probably wouldn't interact with much anyways. Everyone really, through this, you get exposed to, a wide range of viewpoints and cultural ideas that you really wouldn't see otherwise. One thing that I think would be really important with these international students who don't really speak English well is just patience. It's important that they know that it's okay to take their time when they're trying to convey their thoughts. Otherwise, I'd be afraid that the students just would end up not speaking at all, because they don't want to be embarrassed about their lack of English speaking ability. Another thing that I think is important is to teach the kids idioms. You know, weird phrases that they're not going to really learn in an English class in Brazil. I think that these like little weird quirky sayings, you know, like the grass is greener on the other side, will really help them, you know, feel more at home here, feel more like they belong in a, you know, different culture, in a different place. At MIT, I'm studying aerospace engineering with a concentration in business management and a minor in economics. What I really love about my studies is just how wide the array of topics that I see are. One morning, I'll learn how a plane flies, and then that very same afternoon, I'll get to see a lecture about the inefficiencies of the American electricity market. Through aerospace, I've gotten to be part of a team that, you know, built the plane that you saw earlier in this video. Through business, I've gotten to read about cases where major American corporations have cooked their finances to improve their own stocks. I just really love how I get exposed to so many different topics, and I really think it's given me a pretty good idea of how the world in general works. One strength that I have is my dedication to any project that I choose to work on. You know, whether it's if it's my classes, you know, I go to every lecture, I turn in every assignment. If it's my sports teams, I'm putting the time in the off season to make sure that I'm in the best shape I can be for the actual season. I think that this trait will be readily apparent to the students at the camp. You know, when they see me excited about the activities of the day, I think they're going to be excited too, and they're going to work that much harder to learn. I'm definitely comfortable with the responsibility of being a role model. I set very high standards for myself, so I'm not afraid that the students would pick up any bad habits or learn anything really negative from me. Through my past experiences as a referee or a basketball camp counselor, I've definitely been in positions where younger kids are looking up to me and trying to emulate what I do. So it's definitely a role that I'm comfortable with. If you ask my best friend about me, he'd probably say that I'm a very responsible person. You know, whenever we're hanging out with our friends, I'm always on the lookout to make sure everyone's staying safe, or if we have a project to do or any task that needs to get done, I'm the one making sure that it does get done, and it gets done properly. Additionally, he'd say something about my time management skills. I'm a pretty busy person. I take a lot of classes. I'm involved in a lot of clubs. And he always marvels at the fact that I manage to get 9 hours of sleep at night. I can do this because I'm always making sure that I'm getting my work done in advance and scheduling out my days so that I know when I'm going to do the things that I need to do that day. I also think my friend would say that I'm motivated. I throw myself into a lot of different activities here at school. You know, I used to play varsity soccer. When I stopped playing that, I replaced it with going to the gym a lot and joining a lot of IM sports teams. I've taken extra classes for the past 3 semesters here. So I really like to do a lot, and I'm excited to do a lot of different